Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Joey Galvez, one half of your host of Explain Yourself, and I want to let you guys know about a really cool book from our friend of the show, Eli Shockey. This one is called The Greylock, and it's a story where magic is a commodity. Potions are sold at corner stores. Orcs and dwarves earn a living in cubicles, not on the battlefields. But there are those who resist the house's magic's laws. Branded a criminal and forced to live as a wand for hire, there is a spell slinger they call the Greylock. Check this one out. You guys can pre-order issue 3 right now with code JAN241939, and make sure you guys are heading over to your favorite LCS and letting them know that you want Greylock number 3, and maybe pick up the first 2 issues. You could do that at the Scout web store. So make sure you guys are grabbing the Greylock number 3, JAN241939 at previewsworld.com.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. Okay, everybody. Anyways, my name is Michael E. Cullen II, your host, and with me, as always, is
Matt, Dennis the Menace House.
That's a really long name, man.
It is.
Are you sure that's your name?
Me and Captain Marvel got divorced, and now I'm married to Dennis the Menace.
Okay. So,
that was a weird intro.
Yeah, it was. But that's okay, man.
I told you I was going to have a mental breakdown, so it's about to happen, I think.
It's all right.
Yeah.
So, little spoiler there, I think. Folks, and plus, if you read the little, episode description, you might know what we're covering today. We're covering the third movie in the Dennis the Menace live-action movie series from 2007. It's called A Dennis the Menace Christmas. Directed by Ron Oliver, who directed
Me.
Bigger, Fatter, Liar, which we've already covered on this show.
Yep.
Yep.
That one wasn't bad. That was okay.
Yeah.
Not like this one. Oh, sorry.
He's also the director of the upcoming Granddaddy Daycare.
Oh my god. What?
The third movie in the Daddy Daycare series.
I didn't know they had a second one.
Yeah, there was Daddy Day Camp. Because the first one, had had Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. And
Jeff Garland.
Yeah, Jeff Garland.
Yeah. The second one, Cuba Gooding Jr. took over as the same role as Eddie Murphy, and that was the Daddy Day Camp. Those both went to the theaters. But now we're going to have a future episode of our show, I'm pretty sure, because it just came out in February of 2019. So sometime soon we may cover this. There is...
Unfortunately.
Yes, Granddaddy Day Camp, starring Danny Trejo, Reno Wilson, and George Wendt, among other people.
Yep.
It looks like a winner, folks.
Sorry, go ahead.
Directed by Ron Oliver, the director of this movie.
My brother and I used to call Daddy Daycare Daddy Shit Care.
Yeah.
Just because we thought it was clever. And
I'm just trying to figure out how they decided to make a sequel to that movie, let alone a third one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every movie series has a trilogy these days. It's not like a thing anymore where it was like, oh my god, Star Wars got 3 movies, a trilogy. No, Daddy Daycare gets a trilogy now, so it's not a novelty anymore. Okay, that's the word I was looking for, novelty.
Yeah, but
this movie is a novelty.
Yeah, our friend, your friend here that directed a Dennis Menace Christmas. I said also directed Bigger Fatter Liar. He directed Beethoven's Treasure Trail, another direct-to-video sequel, and he directed the Harriet the Spy Blog Wars. I'm just going through his little history here. He directed several episodes, 3 that is, of Degrassi: The Next Generation.
Oh, okay.
Police Academy, the TV series. A bunch of episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark? That
was a good show.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so some good, some bad there. But now I am really excited about Granddaddy Daycare.
Yeah, we got. God.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look that one up.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I love it when I find out something. Okay, so this movie it was written by Kathleen Lackinole, Laccinole.
Lacadali, maybe.
Laccinole, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
She also wrote Dr. Dolittle: Tale to the Chief.
Oh my God! What a title.
That's all that's her whole filmography.
What a title.
Yeah, she wrote 2 direct-to-video sequels.
She should start doing the Air Bud ones because they got great puns as well.
Yeah. So
Spike's back.
Yeah, in this movie, it it starred newcomer Maxwell Perry Cotton as Dennis Mitchell, and as Mr. George Wilson, the ever amazing Robert Wagner. And as Mrs. Wilson, Mrs. Martha Wilson, just want to point this out right off the bat here, folks. Louise Fletcher. Yes, Academy Award-winning actress Louise Fletcher is in this movie.
Mm-hmm. I think she was just bored.
From One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Nurse Ratched. Mm-hmm. Quite possibly the most evil character in the history of movies. Now it just makes me want to watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
She's very nice in this movie. Very patient.
Yeah.
Very compassionate towards Dennis's...
yes.
But
then again, I actually think that in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, she's unfairly judged as being bad. But that we could cover on a different podcast in the future or something about.
I'd have to see it again. It's been decades since I've seen it.
It's one of my favorite movies, so I just think she's unfairly judged as a villain. She's just doing her job. Anyways, haven't
heard that one before.
No, I know.
No, I'm just
kidding. We've also got George Newbern, who you may know from the Father of the Bride movies, as well as the TV show Scandal, as Henry Mitchell, Dennis's dad. And then we got some actress named Kim Schreiner as Alice Mitchell. Got a bunch of kids in there. The character of Margaret, who's normally white in these movies, is now an African-American actress.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's just like in the other 2 movies that this is a sequel to, supposedly she's all of a sudden a different race. I have nothing against casting. I'm just going to make that clear so nobody thinks I'm racist or coming off as racist here. I have no problem with changing the race of a character. I have no problem with anything like that. It's just continuity that I'm trying to figure out here. But then again... Dennis is like the same age he was like 20 years ago.
And this is a direct-to-video times 2. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice voice crack there.
When it's time to change. Anyways.
Anyway, though, but you said she's in Black Lightning now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, the actress China Ann McClain, is now currently on Black Lightning, playing the character of Lightning. Not Black Lightning, but Lightning. Okay, anyways. Because if you watch that show, Black Lightning has 2 daughters. One of them is named Thunder, and one of them is named Lightning.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So, yeah, they're actually characters in the comic books, too. So I'm not really spoiling anything here, folks. Okay. No spoiler alert needed. I don't know where this voice came from.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. The cat gets better and the guy gets sick. Sorry. Mark Maron, too real.
Yeah. Anyways, so okay, what's going on in this movie here, Matt?
What's going on is a whole bunch of stuff, largely disconnected from reality and other context of the movie. But okay, so it starts off with Mr. Wilson having a nightmare where Dennis knocks him over with his bike while he's trying to get his morning paper, and then he wakes up, and then they go to like some school function for like some Thanksgiving play or something like that. And Dennis is like in the background, like with his friends, getting ready for the play, and he mentions that the turkey doesn't look happy or something like that. So they all go to get ready to go on stage to do their lines, and Dennis, feels compassionate for the turkey because it doesn't have any water left. So he opens the cage to get him some new water, but then, like an idiot, he doesn't close he's 6 years old, so whatever. He doesn't close the cage. And then he gets the water, and the turkey gets out. And then the girl, I forgot her name. What was her name? The one from Black Lightning.
Oh, the character's Margaret.
Margaret.
Yeah.
Said that she has an allergy to turkey feathers, which I'm not even sure if that's a real allergy or not, but whatever. And so she starts like freaking out about the turkey being loose, and for some reason that starts off a whole weird food fight thing going on. I'm not exactly sure how that even happened, but both the kids...
we gotta mention why there was food there.
Oh,
there was like this ladies auxiliary group
That's
that
right.
would have food there, and before the program started, what did the principal say, Matt?
The principal said, and I quote, "I can't wait to taste these ladies' goodies." And he pauses a little bit after saying that, realizing that maybe it sounded kind of weird. Yeah. Again, this is for kids' movie.
This is like a G-rated movie, folks. Yeah.
And the fact that he paused indicated that he knew there was something weird about what he said, which is a kind of hint to the audience, or the adult audience for that matter, is supposed to take some kind of double meaning from this. Again, G-rated kids' movie.
Yeah, G or PG or something.
Or
I don't even know what the hell it's rated.
I think it's probably G. Because I don't know, whatever.
Because I don't really care enough to.
I don't care. Don't even look it up. It's pointless. It doesn't matter. Because looking it up will make you a shameless capitalist, a phrase which has been uttered about 7 times in this movie. But we'll get to that part.
It's rated G, by the way, folks.
Okay.
I just looked it up.
All right, cool.
Why am I whispering?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll stop.
All right, cool. So, I set it up. You want to maybe take over a little bit?
Okay, so in a chestnut shell. See, the Christmas theme thing?
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I'm good like that.
Good.
Anyways, this is what happens. Throughout the thing, Dennis dreams of finally getting a brand new bike that he wanted. This, like, fancy bike or whatever for Christmas. And he also wants to make sure that Mr. Wilson has a perfect holiday. Because Dennis, above all else, is a good kid.
Yeah, that's the story, at least. Which I don't buy, personally.
And
I think he's a sociopath who tricks people into thinking he's a good kid. But
yeah, he makes a random long list of things that he wants to have done to help somehow get Mr. Wilson make him have a good holiday or some bullshit. Anyways, plot device that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
It doesn't really move the story forward. Anyways,
nothing in this movie does.
No offense to the writer.
I'm sorry, I know.
No offense to the writer of Dr. Dolittle, Talented the Chief. Anyways,
at least they're doing something.
Yeah.
And I wish I
know.
I wish I could find a gig as silly as that.
Yeah.
So take anything I say, at least that's sarcastic, is almost a tinge of jealousy. That.
Take it with a grain of salt
and chestnuts. I don't know. I was trying to come up with something the Christmas thing. Salt and gingery. I don't know. I can't.
Salt and pepper.
Yeah. What?
Push it.
Well,
wait. I don't know.
Now we're really detouring here.
Yeah. So basically what it is typical Mr. Wilson getting pissed at Dennis while Dennis, uses all of his antique stamps on letters when he's watching them randomly. There's other times too. Early on in the movie too, like not real early, but they introduce an angel played by the stand-up comedian Godfrey, who you may remember from the Make 7 Up Yours commercials if you're old enough to remember those. Anyways, and Godfrey's actually a pretty interesting guy. I'll just do a plug for Mark Maron's podcast. If you look up the WTF with Mark Maron, he interviewed Godfrey. It was actually a pretty good episode. Anyways, so we got Godfrey's introduced and then just kind of disappears for a while as Bob the Angel.
Yeah.
And he shows up every so often, but just randomly. He was going to be the Santa Claus at the mall where Alice Mitchell had a job wrapping presents, but she couldn't find a babysitter because nobody will babysit Dennis. And so she's at the mall wrapping gifts and had to take Dennis with her. And then at the mall, too, Michael Lerner is there, the actor, the actually really good actor who you've probably seen in a lot of Coen Brothers films and other things, who's in this movie, by the way, too, with Louise Fletcher. Anyways, and Greg Newbern. I just trying to figure out how these people ended up in this movie. Robert Wagner. And, so, money. Anyways,
or just boredom too.
Yes, I don't know.
I want to do something.
Yeah. So the basically all hell breaks loose at the mall, and Dennis accidentally makes shit fall and all over Santa, and then Santa gets canned too, and Santa, who is Bob the Angel, and yeah. So this guy, it's weird for a plot device to introduce a character like 3 times throughout the movie before he even serves his function. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know what the word is for that, but it's very weird.
Because honestly, I don't think the real plot of this movie, it's like they're setting up all this background so we get to know who Dennis and Mr. Wilson are and stuff like that. But this is the 3rd movie in the series.
So we already know their relationship.
Yeah, and then if you've ever seen the cartoon Dennis the Menace or the 60s Jay North TV series, you know the dynamic between Mr. Wilson, and you only need a couple scenes to set that up. But before they actually get to the plot, it's literally like 47 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, and the movie's only an hour and 23 minutes
long.
Yeah. So over half of the movie is done before he shows up in Mr. Wilson's chimney.
And it's just random thing with bad effects and
real bad effects.
Yeah, and
I'm actually writing this down as we speak, so I don't want to forget everything.
Yeah.
Because there's so many bad things in this movie that I want to talk about.
Yeah, and so basically in the end, at one point Dennis accidentally sets fire to Mr. Wilson's house after doing all this other shit, and the Mitchells basically owe Mr. Wilson like $45,000.
Yeah, because he ruined a stamp collection, which was worth $10,000.
Yeah, and then he burned down his house.
And I remember that scene, though, where the paramedics just let him hang out in their smoke-filled house.
Yeah,
like these elderly people.
Yeah, this elderly couple that's probably on a fixed income, and probably now have carbon monoxide poisoning. And right after the movie, they both died. And that's the scene that they cut out. Like right after the credits roll, you cut back to, it's Mr. and Mrs. Wilson laying in bed, and then they die from the silent, deadly killer of carbon monoxide poisoning. Yeah. I'm just saying that's what's happening.
So there's a scene where Mrs. Wilson's downstairs looking for something, and the entire room is completely filled up with smoke. I mean, it's like,
and then she's trying to light a fire in the chimney.
Yeah, that's right.
And the reason because this is one of the last times before the plot device actually happens, that Godfrey shows up and he's in the chimney, and she can't light a fire in the chimney because she wanted to warm up the house because there's a big fucking hole in the house because Dennis set fire to their living room.
So not only are they inhaling smoke and possibly dying because of that, they're living with a literal hole in the wall. So if there's a draft, then, just deal with it, I guess. Just put a newspaper around you as a blanket, and go to sleep. So there was that. So he made that bed for them. Can I mention the cookies?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So Dennis, I think, has like mental health issues in this movie. And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that as an actual statement of fact. Like, I think he actually has some sort of, I don't know, cognitive issues. But so he got the idea to make cookies for Mr. Wilson
while he was sleeping.
And he thought that taking a bunch of Fruit Loops, or the equivalent thereof, I think black pepper was in the mix, sardines, and a bunch of other weird crap like mustard. Put that into a blender, made it into a mush, and then took the mush, put them on a baking sheet, put it into the oven, and baked them into lumps, and then woke Mr. Wilson up and then served him one.
And then he was allergic to him.
He immediately got sent to the hospital.
Yeah. Again.
No, I think that was the first time.
Oh, that was the first time. Yeah, because then again, later on, he ends up... How did he end up in the hospital and get a neck brace and a cast and shit?
Oh, yeah. So there's another scene...
he trips over them.
We were kind of blacking out.
That was earlier in the movie, actually. Because the second time he went to the hospital
was the cookies.
Yeah, because when he was making the cookies, it was when he was there taking care of them after he was resting from being back at the hospital.
So here's another dynamic. Sorry, we're the timeline's messed up. Okay, so first he's at the mall with Dennis and a bunch of Dennis's friends. I'm not even sure why their parents let 6-year-old children in 2007 go shopping at the mall by themselves, but that's a whole other thing, whatever.
Yeah.
So then Mr. Wilson happened to be there, I guess, or he was watching all of the kids. We were kind of not paying attention at one point, so maybe he was watching all of them. I don't know.
I think the kids were just running wild.
Well, they were just running wild like feral children,
yeah.
And then they were buying a bunch of like expensive gifts, which I don't really think they could afford, like $300, $400.
Well, no, they were helping... Mr.
Right.
Wilson shop for Mrs. Wilson.
Okay, so they were...
Because Dennis convinced him that he needed
and
to
then
buy
they
it.
just happened to be there by themselves, unsupervised. Got it. Okay,
yeah.
So, that's great. And so then they go out and like they have like this nice little bonding moment for a change, which happens in every single fucking Dennis the Menace movie. You think that like, after a certain point, like the relationship would be solidified and there wouldn't be like just teeter-tottering going on because he knows that Dennis is going to make the same mistakes over and over again. So he might as well just accept that. But anyway, so... they have like this nice moment, and then I guess Mr. Wilson trips over him or something. I don't know. And
it somehow trips over him, and then
what happened.
And then he ends up in the hospital with a cast and a neck brace and shit. And
so then Mrs. Wilson leaves Mr. Wilson in the care of the 6-year-old child while she gets him his quote special medicine, which I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Painkillers. I don't know.
I mean, she did play Nurse Ratched in the previous movie,
so maybe that was a callback to that.
Maybe she was going to get some medicine like, from the sanitarium.
Antipsychotic medication for Mr. Wilson. So anyway, she just leaves him to watch this guy who just came back from the hospital. And then that's when he decided to make these really shitty cookies, I think, which were okay. I get that he's 6 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, but like I'm pretty sure most 6-year-olds understand that to make a cookie, there's usually like a few base ingredients that like you can't just take anything and mix it into to make a cookie. Like when I was 6 years old, I didn't think I could make chocolate chip cookies with pizza sauce and sardines. Maybe that's just me, but I knew that you actually had to have like chocolates or something like.
Wait, I've been making chocolate chip cookies wrong all of these years, Matt.
I'm just saying. Even without supervision, I think you would have the intellectual knowledge that chocolate chip cookies.
See, I don't know what goes into them because I just buy those, Pillsbury tubes and just cut that up and put it in, I just assumed. I never read the ingredients. I just assumed that pizza sauce and sardines were in there.
You've been eating sardines this whole time, so.
Yeah, I don't even like fish, and I thought they were in there. But
now you do. Apparently you do because you've been eating them, so. So I wanted to make that mention because of how disgusting that scene was when he made those shit cookies. And
do you want to take a break really quick here, Matt?
Yes.
And then we'll come back and we'll finish up when we get into the actual plot of the movie.
Right, we're just like rambling.
Yeah, because no, we'll get into the point of the movie 47 minutes in where it actually gets to the plot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, and we'll be right back.
What is Gen X? What is the silent generation? What do generations have in common? Hi, I'm Trish the Dish from the Gen X Voice podcast, and I invite you to listen to conversations I have with folks from different generations, backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences in an attempt to see what connects rather than divides us. Even though Gen X has been called slackers, Karens, or not mentioned at all in some cases, we are the bridge generation, so I feel compelled to do my part to destroy ageism by bringing all these voices together. And, as a bonus, each guest gets to answer some 80s questions at the end of each show. So download and listen to Gen X Voice today on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And let's see how much we have in common after all.
Hi, this is Catherine, host of a new fashion podcast, The Real Fashion School Dropout. Join me as I interview guests every week in the fashion and beauty space, and we gossip on all things fashion and beauty, and even get into some personal stories of their journey in the industry. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Hope to see you there.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little ad for a product and or service of some sort.
I did. I liked the one about the sardine cookies. That was a good ad.
Oh, Matt, I forgot to tell you.
What?
They dropped us as...
Damn it.
Yeah, they're no longer our sponsors.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to that.
But, you know,
50 cents.
I will stand up for them, though.
What?
You know, Dennis's sardine and pizza sauce cookies are the best in the world.
Yeah.
You know, you can get them. Just go to your local grocer, walk in the store, and tell them that you want those. You know, if you end up in the insane asylum after that, that's all on you, man. That's all on you. It's all on you.
But what if you do get them?
Then email me at mike@cullenpark.com and I'll send you my address and you can send me some.
What if you did that and a grocer actually just went in the back and gave you a box of pizza sauce sardine cookies? Would that freak you out? What if you can ask him if he has anything else that's weird, and he shows up like, I want a soccer ball full of gummy bears. He goes in the back, shows up with a soccer ball full of gummy bears. Like, holy crap, we found like a magic grocer.
Where else would
guy.
you keep your gummy bears?
I don't know.
I thought everybody kept them inside of a
basketball.
soccer ball.
I don't know. I don't know.
I had a friend who kept them in a football once, but that was
cool.
weird. Yeah. Anyways,
that's kind of weird.
Yeah, he was British, so maybe it was a soccer ball.
Wow.
So
that was good.
So so the actual plot kicks in shortly after the sardine cookies. And
good. Sorry.
The Bob the Angel shows up after Mr. Okay, there's a point where Mr. Wilson gets so pissed off at Dennis that he basically says, I don't ever want to see you again, and blah, blah, blah. And then he says, there is no Santa Claus. Dun, dun, dun. Anyways, Dennis had given him a card. And but after that, you know, we're visited by the angel, who's got big wings and he keeps knocking shit over in Mr. Wilson's house, which is somehow funny, I guess. Anyways, after
it had already been burned down.
Yeah. You think there'd be some kind of precaution so angels don't knock shit down with their wings.
Well, they forgot to put the dentist clause in the contract, so...
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's another ongoing thing throughout this movie. Yes. There's this asshole guy and his kid who is bullying... The kid's bullying Dennis throughout the fucking movie. The kid's named Jack or some bullshit. Yeah. Anyways, and the asshole parent is this guy. I think he was in... I don't feel like looking it up because I'm just so pissed at this movie. I'm pretty sure the actor was in... was in Butterfly Effect. Anyways, I think he played an asshole in that too. Anyways, the asshole parent, the funniest thing in the whole thing is at the beginning of the movie when they're having this little Thanksgiving Day pageant, he tells his kid, don't forget your lines. I don't want people thinking I'm a bad parent.
That's right. That's the weirdest fucking logic.
I mean, neither Matt or I have kids, but I do have nieces and nephews, and so does Matt.
Yeah.
And I don't know what kind of scale you judge your brother on his parenting or not, but I don't know if one of the aspects to that is if one of his kids forgets lines in a stupid school pageant.
Nope.
Because I know damn well that if one of my nieces or nephews forgot a thing, I wouldn't give a shit. And I wouldn't think, oh, wait, my sister's a bad mom.
Like you could lose your children at the mall or
Yeah.
somewhere else. Nope. No one's going to think you're a bad parent if you do that. But if they're at the Thanksgiving school play and they forget their line before everyone has a nice taste of the ladies' goodies,
yes,
you're a bad parent then.
Yep. And, I remember that time when I was in grade school and we were in this play. And this kid Freddie in my class, he had this little speech, he was supposed to give. He forgot one of his lines. Child Protective Services came by, just took him away. I never know what happened to Freddie after that. His dad became an alcoholic and died the next day.
All in one day. Wow.
Yep.
That's a very fast acting addiction right there.
But I did find out years later on Facebook that Freddie is not on Facebook.
There you go. See,
so that was a great, ending to that story.
Yeah, it is.
So don't forget your lines, kids.
Or people are going to think your parents are bad parents.
Yes.
So
that's the moral of the whole movie. Anyway, so basically, let's get back to the angel.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Bob the Angel, played by Godfrey. I think Godfrey the Angel would be a better name than Bob the Angel.
Yeah, it is.
That's just me.
That's their fault. So
yeah, you got a guy named Godfrey for crying out loud.
Yeah, these kind of people don't know when they.
And it's just
gold.
one name too, like Cher. It's Godfrey. That's all he is.
These are kind of people that don't know when they struck gold.
Yes,
and that's why their movies are so shitty, is because they actually have moments of opportunity that they don't exploit. But that's or whatever. Okay.
So Godfrey the Angel takes Mr. Wilson and does a whole Charles Dickens Christmas Carol sort of thing with him, and takes him back into time when he was a little boy, and he really wanted this fishing lure or something, or fishing pole of some sort. And he runs across. He's running out of his house, and he goes across the street to his neighbor, who's pretty much the Mr. Wilson of his day. And it turns out that little Georgie Wilson was pretty much the Dennis the Menace of his time. Mm-hmm. And he went in there and he destroyed the guy's bathroom and a bunch of model boats that he was putting together because he wanted to put the boats in the sink or something.
No, the tub.
In the tub. Not the tub. Not the sink. I mean the tub.
He wanted to fill it up with the tub and put the boat in there to let it sail. And
he put all the boats in there, and then he broke somehow just by turning the knob on the on the spigot of the tub. Broke it. My thing is who was the fucking plumber in this house?
I know. Does that mean that the guy never took a bath and just didn't notice that the moment you turned a knob it would fall apart?
Yeah, because I don't think you should blame Georgie for this.
Well, kind of.
I'm pretty no.
He shouldn't have put him in the tub for one thing.
No. If there was good plumbing, none of this would have happened. It's not Georgie's fault.
It ruins the model boats by putting them in a tub because they're not meant to be in water. They're model boats. They're not toy boats.
But how does Georgie know that?
Because who cares if he knows it or not?
Hey, man, I'm sticking up for Georgie here.
I'm not sticking up for
Georgie was a good kid.
Maybe, but he was stupid.
He just loved...
Oh, no, I used the S word. Sorry, that's another gag.
Stupid
gag.
He just loved his neighbor so much, Matt.
No doubt that he loved him, but still.
Okay, he was a fucking dumb kid who didn't realize that you're not supposed to put the fucking thing in the...
Wow, that really went to 0 to 100 real fast.
So anyways... He floods the bathroom,
And it drips on
drips onto Mr. whatever the fuck his name is down there. And Mr.
And Mr. whatever the fuck, that's his name.
Yeah. His
some guy.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't even know.
Who cares? Just some guy.
It was yeah, so basically we realized that at that point he didn't get his little fishing fucking thing that year. I love this movie, Matt. It's so great.
I know, isn't it?
Yeah, it's making me say the F word a lot.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that proves how much you love it.
Yes. You know, it's so fucking great. Anyways, the
All right, let's walk through it.
Okay, so he ends up basically not liking Christmas after that for the rest of his life.
Yeah, when he was like 10 years old. By the way, the kid who played him had like this really weird accent that I'm not even sure is like of an actual country. It's just some made up accent. But Mr. Wilson himself doesn't have the accent, so I'm not sure at what point he lost it. Maybe it was right after that. Maybe it traumatized him so much that he started speaking in a whole different accent because of how mean his neighbor was to him after he ruined his house and his model boats.
That's what happens. I mean,
it could. I don't know how that works in psychology.
Yeah, you know, because when I was a little kid, I used to have a Polish accent until like this, until one of my neighbors yelled at me.
Really, is that true?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not even Polish. So what?
Oh, that's right. What am I? I don't know. Shut up. I was just wondering because you remember that guy Jules from Toledo, Jules,
our friend Jules. Yeah.
Jules,
yeah.
I remember, but you know what I'm talking about. He's Polish.
And he lost his accent.
Well, no, he said that for the first like 7 years of his life in his neighborhood in Toledo, everyone spoke Polish.
Yeah,
like hardly anyone spoke English. Even the schools were taught in Polish. The school textbooks were in Polish. And then like once he turned 7, like the city like really started cracking down and like they made him start learning English. Like,
oh, okay.
But yeah, he said like for the first 7 years of his life, it was like literally like a Polish town. Like everything was in Polish.
Makes sense.
The street signs even.
So
I don't know why. It just kind of reminded me of that when you said that.
This movie was shot in Montreal, Quebec.
Mm-hmm.
So my feeling is that kid was probably French Canadian.
Yeah, okay, I guess that sounds because it kind of had like a Catherine O'Hara type of accent. I'm not sure if she's from Quebec or not, but she kind of has like a.
I mean, she is Canadian. I think she might be from somewhere around there. But
okay.
But anyways, yeah, it's got the kind of the almost French kind of
like infused with
the Canadian sort of.
But Mr. Wilson doesn't sound like that. So it's like, what the hell, dude? Come on, but whatever. I'm just nitpicking now at this point, but.
You know, the kid was probably just a day player that they found off the street. That they couldn't, you know.
Wow.
Walked in and like, hey kid,
hey man, you want to do some lines?
Yeah.
Whoa, what sounds
that sounds bad.
You want to do some lines?
Want to do some lines and then we can taste some of these ladies' goodies.
That sounds so bad. Hey kid, you want to? Wow.
It's a G-rated movie, folks.
Exactly. You want to do some? Oh my god.
So
wow.
So anyways, George and Bob the Angel go to the present day after they go to the past, and we get to see how Mrs. Wilson acts on Christmas, where she's basically puts a little ornament on a plant in the living room and says "I love you" to George while he's sleeping and passed out.
He's taking another nap, his 18th nap of the day.
Yeah, and then we basically see he sees how lucky he is to have her as his wife, and then we go to the future, where there's random lights on the street and fucking stupid things flying in the air telling you about
your typical this is the future looks like this bullshit, you know.
Yeah, it's like Back to the Future 2 future type shit, you know. Anyways,
it looked like
that.
Basically.
And then or Blade Runner or something, I don't know. It's so we've got that, and we end up going. He takes him to the neighborhood, and we realize that he tells him basically that after Mrs. Wilson died, Mr. Wilson spent the rest of his life alone and then died of a broken heart or something, basically. And then Dennis went to college on a skateboard scholarship, and grew up to buy back his parents' house that they lost. And he's living there now in the future. And he's all old and he hates Christmas.
And he's wearing a Starfleet thing.
Yeah, basically his outfit looks like he raided Patrick Stewart's closet circa 1987 and stole Jean-Luc Picard's uniform. And I don't know what the fuck he was wearing.
It's the future, man. That's what people wear in the future.
Yeah.
I hate that shit so much when I do that. It's like, really?
So anyways, basically we find out that, you know, in the future, Dennis basically becomes Mr. Wilson.
Yeah.
And is a grumpy old loser because he stopped believing in Christmas after he found out there was no Santa Claus because Mr. Wilson told him so.
Because every adult currently who celebrates Christmas with glee still believes in Santa Claus. So if you don't believe in Santa Claus, you cannot like enjoy Christmas. So that means every adult therefore believes in Santa Claus, according to this logic. Right? I mean,
Matt, are you trying to tell me something about Santa Claus?
No. No, I spoke to him yesterday. He's still around.
Is he good?
Yeah, he's good. He was hanging out with Tony Generous. They both sleeping underneath the bridge in Cary, Ohio, so they're good.
How's Rudolph? I heard he had a little bit of an alcohol problem. His nose is always red and shit, you know?
Yeah, Rudolph is Rudolph, so, you know.
Yeah. I like to call him Rudy.
Like Rudy's hot dogs?
Yes, or the football player. Anyways, so, yeah, spoiler alert, kids. There is no Santa Claus.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I hope little kids...
There is a Jesus Christ. He existed. He's no longer alive, though.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. And he is the real reason for the season. Anyways,
It's called Christ Mass. That's
Yes.
literally what it means. I mean, come on.
so
Etymology, people. No.
So like by mass, does that like mean more, or is it?
No, like Mass. Like
I
when you
know.
go to church. Like, what, you always do this to me. Okay. So,
I was raised Catholic. I know what it means.
yeah, I know.
So, anyways, basically, then we have the whole Scrooge moment where he, you know, comes to terms with the fact that Christmas is great, and he wakes up and he goes running down the neighborhood like a fucking lunatic, yelling "Merry Christmas" to everybody. Mr. Wilson does.
Yep.
Yeah. So, the whole time, Dennis finally got his bike because Mr. Wilson bought it for him, and put it under his tree. And then he came in and he ripped up all the bills that the Mitchells owed him and says, you know, "Merry Christmas," and gets a nice hug from George and Alice and shit like that.
So that's a wild Christmas. So he loses $45,000 and he buys a bike for Dennis and waives the debt. So he's actually more in the hole.
Yeah,
from that.
Well, he waived the $45,000 and then
and bought a bike.
Yeah,
so that's wild right there. Mm-hmm. If I were Dennis, I would like worship that guy for the rest of my fucking life.
Yes. We end up seeing. Oh yeah, at one point too, though, I actually did kind of tear up when I saw the Christmas card that Dennis made for Mr. Wilson when he read it. It said "Merry Christmas, Mr. Wilson, from your best friend Dennis."
Aw,
it was cute. Anyways, I got to point out the good points of the movie, Matt.
Yeah,
because there's so few.
There are so few.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, so then what do we have? There was a bike race then too.
Yes, with the asshole kid and his dad.
Yeah, and Dennis let the kid win.
Yeah,
because he said he needed it more than me.
Because his dad said that if only losers lose, or some weird circular logic bullshit.
Yeah,
and then so like after he quote unquote wins, he's like, "That kid, he's a loser."
When all of his friends are around him, and,
like
and the kid's all by himself with his dad.
Yeah, there's like 10 kids like running up to Dennis and like giving him high fives. Like, "That kid's a loser." It's like, yep, okay.
That's how I judge losers.
Yep. Mm-hmm. When you got throngs of people chasing after you and cheering you on, like, yeah, that's a loser right there, man.
Yep.
Now let's go hang out with your dear old dad. Make sure you memorize those lines because I don't want people thinking I'm a bad parent.
Yep.
That's what a winner does.
maybe the fact that the kid doesn't have any friends might make you a bad parent. But anyways, so then, they go in for hot chocolate in Mr. Wilson's house, and it snows for the first time in 30 years in whatever town in Canada they're in. Anyways, I'm just joking. I just find it hilarious that they shot the movie in Canada and they're making a big deal about the fucking snow for 30 years.
I know.
Anyways,
it hasn't snowed here in 30 years on Christmas.
Yeah, and so it snows, and Mr. Mitchell ends up, Dennis becomes friends with this bully guy. They're riding bikes together, and Mr. Mitchell gives hot chocolate to the bully dad. And, and it's all like a happy ending. And then Dennis is riding down the street and he hits Mr. Wilson with his bike at the end. And Mr. Wilson yells, "Dennis!"
And that was based off his nightmare.
Yeah.
The same exact scene.
And then the credits start rolling.
Yep. That was
my favorite part of the whole movie.
Yeah, me too.
Anyways.
That was the best movie of all time.
Yes. So, do you want to take a break, Matt?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll take a break, and when we get back, we can read some reviews of the movie, and maybe talk about some trivia or something if we have any, and any other final thoughts that we have on this wonderful, wonderful film starring Academy Award-winning actress Louise Fletcher. We'll be right back.
Yep.
What is Gen X? What is the silent generation? What do generations have in common? Hi, I'm Trish the Dish from the Gen X Voice podcast, and I invite you to listen to conversations I have with folks from different generations, backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences in an attempt to see what connects rather than divides us. Even though Gen X has been called slackers, Karens, or not mentioned at all in some cases, we are the bridge generation, so I feel compelled to do my part to destroy ageism by bringing all these voices together. And, as a bonus, each guest gets to answer some 80s questions at the end of each show. So download and listen to Gen X Voice today on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And let's see how much we have in common after all.
Hi, this is Catherine, host of a new fashion podcast, The Real Fashion School Dropout. Join me as I interview guests every week in the fashion and beauty space, and we gossip on all things fashion and beauty, and even get into some personal stories of their journey in the industry. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Hope to see you there.
And we are back. Okay, so how's it going, Matt?
I am doing marginally well.
Did those commercials help you at all to get past your anger towards Dennis Mitchell?
No. But the sardine pizza sauce cookies hit the spot.
Yeah,
So.
You wouldn't share any of those, you asshole.
I'm sorry.
Okay. But
They're really good.
I was like, can I have one, Matt? And you're like, no.
I know, I should have been more generous.
Like Tony. Anyways, so I looked up some Internet Movie Database reviews of this wonderful holiday classic. And so this is a 1 out of 10 star rating by Lara Call 1 from back in 2009. She wrote, "Warning, do not let your younger kids watch this.
Wow.
Raucous, slapstick fare for young children. Harmless enough, you might think. But beware, this G-rated holiday movie features the most unforgivable Christmas spoiler of all time. At one point, grouchy Mr. Wilson, played by the otherwise amusing, played to otherwise amusing effect by erstwhile tough guy Robert Wagner, bellows, 'There's no such thing as Santa Claus,' at his mischievous but well-meaning little neighbor Dennis. Given that nobody without young children would ever feel compelled to watch G-rated, kid-centric, essentially flimsy comedy, one has to wonder what the director hoped to achieve by including such a profoundly disappointing revelation in a movie bound for an audience of little children at Christmas time. Move over, Mr. Grinch. You've got competition.
What?
1 out of 10 stars.
Okay, so my question is, these are kids, right? That have been around adults before.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that they've never heard anyone ever say there's no such thing as Santa Claus, or hear it at school from another kid or something? I mean, it's not like some fucking movie is going to be the first time they've ever heard that phrase.
It's like, I clearly remember the moment I found out there was no Santa Claus. My friend's older brother, who was at the time wearing a Robin from Batman and Robin t-shirt, I remember exactly what he was fucking wearing when he told me.
Wow.
So it was pretty profound in my life,
Traumatic,
I will tell you that.
Yeah.
I was standing outside of my grandma's house, and my friend that lived across the street from my grandma, his older brother came over and told us that there was no Santa Claus.
Wow.
I can't even remember how old I was. I was probably like 8 or so. Or 6. No, I was probably younger than that. I was probably like 6 or something. But whatever it was. Yeah, he came up and told me and my friend, he's like, yeah, there's no Santa Claus. And I'm like, what?
What an asshole.
Yeah, he just told us, and then, yeah.
You should have killed him.
But you know what? Every year after that, I was able to figure out where my parents hid all the fucking presents, and I knew what I was getting before Christmas every year before that, so that was fun. Anyways,
surprised though.
I didn't care.
Oh, okay.
At least I knew what I was getting. And I never got a cool bike like Dennis. Anyways,
after racking up $45,000 of debt of your neighbor's house.
Yeah, I did do that though. But anyway,
okay.
yeah. Wait, no, I didn't. This one is kind of long, but I think I will read it, even though I don't know if it's a good one or not. But Martian October 5.
Okay.
Back in 2009, wrote a 3 out of 10 star review, and I just reading it because I love their headline. Dennis the Obsessive Psycho. Dennis is inspired by a classroom lecture about Christmas celebrations and goes on a reckless rampage of well-intentioned destruction. Don't expect the exuberant Dennis who touches adult hearts with his ingenious spirit. Expect a misguided kid whose ill-conceived crusade involves trespassing, persistent obsession, vandalism, and ignoring warnings. Aimed at 3-year-old kids with a slapstick approach, the violent accidents are supposed to be funny and cute. They're neither. Dennis's parents do nothing as the kid marks a checkoff list of good deeds to quote-unquote help Mr. Wilson. One fiasco after another, damage, destruction, injury. Then he tries another item on the list. Damage, destruction, injury. Then another, damage, destruction, injury. And on and on. No jury in the world would convict Mr. Wilson if he bought some pit bull attack dogs to devour this little psycho next time he sneaks on the property.
Wow.
And then blow up the Mitchell's house. Anyhow.
Whoa. Okay.
The story then throws in a weakly contrived Christmas Carol sequence in for a moral tag. In spite of a hopeless script, the cast all do pretty decent acting job. I disagree. Anyways, you may not notice the actors by this time, though. You'll probably be too busy rolling your eyes. Uses the Dennis moniker, but he really is a thinly disguised cheap ripoff of Home Alone. I don't know, because Home Alone, he was protecting his house.
Well, yeah.
Nothing he did was... I'm gonna...
Yeah, it's a totally different...
Yeah. You're misunderstanding this whole thing. You know, Dennis is a menace, whereas Kevin McAllister was just protecting his damn home from burglars, people. He was a good kid.
Yeah.
Don't say anything bad about Kevin fucking McAllister. Merry fucking Christmas, people. Macaulay Culkin, if you hear this...
Merry Christmas.
I got your back, brother. Anyways, so most of these reviews are bad, so I'm not even going to try to find a good one. So,
By the way, did we establish why his parents were gone? Did we ever figure that out, or were we not paying attention when it happened? Because I don't remember why they were gone. Why he needed to watch Dennis.
I think they were at work.
No, because remember that one time when they were like laying down, like watching TV, like by themselves somewhere, and he was still at like Wilson's house or something.
Maybe he was just visiting him.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. Because I know at the one time Alice dropped him off because she couldn't find a babysitter, so she basically made Mr. Wilson watch him.
Right.
I don't know. Any other
cares?
major thoughts on this piece of cinematic genius?
I think that you owe it to yourselves to not watch this movie.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you if you recommend this movie to anyone,
No,
Matt.
I don't.
Like anyone at all?
No.
Even your worst enemy?
No. Well, nah, not really, because I could figure out other ways to torture him, but not him, but...
Well, you know what
in
you could do?
general.
You could do $45,000 worth of damage to their house and stuff, and...
And then have them buy me a bike.
Yes. That's how you torture
Yes,
somebody,
I
people.
will. Yes.
Yes. So, honestly, I would rather have $45,000 worth of damage to my house. Please don't do that, people, though.
No.
I don't really want that. And I'd like, but I would like you to buy me a bike. If you want to buy me a bike, folks, you can contact me at mike@cullenpark.com. I accept all gifts and donations, bikes, candy, sardine, and pizza sauce cookies. Because Matt ate all of them that we had here.
I know. Well, I'm sorry.
It's okay, Matt.
I was hungry.
I'll forgive you in the spirit of Christmas.
Can I get a bike, too?
Yeah, if you pay for it, you can get a bike all you want. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I can sell you one for $45,000 if you'd like.
That's a pretty expensive bike there.
It's a good one, though.
Is that a motorcycle?
No.
Oh, just a regular bike.
Just a regular. It's a Huffy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll autograph it.
All right. Will Dennis autograph it too?
Dennis the Menace?
Yeah.
The actor who played him?
Yes, the actor who played.
We'll track him down.
Okay.
And if you're listening, if you want to sign a bike and give it to my friend Matt.
For $45,000.
Yes. Feel more than happy to. Okay. Be sure to keep listening to our show, folks. We're all over the internet and whatnot. Yeah. And Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.